Here are the chilling stories of the most evil and brutal queens in history. In times when power meant everything, some queens ruled with terrifying cruelty. Their reigns were marked by ruthless actions, merciless decisions, and a legacy of fear. Let's delve into their dark histories. Number 1. Elizabeth Bathory 1560 to 1614, the Blood Countess. Elizabeth Bathory, a Hungarian noblewoman, is notorious for her heinous acts of cruelty and murder. Born into a wealthy and influential family, she used her position to commit unspeakable horrors. Bathory's sadistic tendencies are alleged to have been driven by a macabre quest for eternal youth and beauty, believing that bathing in the blood of young girls would preserve her youthfulness. The accounts of her atrocities are both chilling and vast. Records suggest that Bathory lured hundreds of young women to her castle under the pretense of offering them employment, only to subject them to brutal torture and eventual death. Her methods of torture were gruesome, including beatings, starvation, and mutilation. These acts of horror earned her the nickname Blood Countess. Though the exact number of her victims is debated, estimates range from 80 to 650, with the higher end solidifying her place in history as one of the most prolific female serial killers. Despite the magnitude of her crimes, her noble status shielded her from execution. Instead, she was sentenced to life imprisonment, confined to a room in her own castle until her death. Number 2. Wu Zetian 624 to 705, the only empress regnant of China. Wu Zetian, the only woman to ever hold the title of empress regnant in Chinese history, ruled with an unparalleled blend of intelligence, ruthlessness, and ambition. Her rise to power was marked by a series of calculated moves, including the elimination of rivals through exile, execution, and forced suicide. Wu's ascent to the throne began as a concubine to Emperor Taizong and continued through her manipulation of court politics. To maintain her grip on power, Wu established a secret police force that rooted out dissent and controlled the flow of information. Those who opposed her were often met with severe punishment, silencing any opposition and ensuring her dominance. Despite her brutal methods, Wu Zetian's reign saw a flourishing of culture and literature, making her one of the most paradoxical figures in Chinese history. Her legacy is a complex one, marked by both the fear she instilled and the progress she championed. Wu Zetian's rule, lasting 23 years, stands as a testament to her ability to navigate and command the intricacies of imperial power in a male-dominated society. Number 3. Mary I of England 1516 to 1558, Bloody Mary. Queen Mary I of England, commonly known as Bloody Mary, earned her fearsome moniker through her relentless persecution of Protestants. During her 5-year reign, she sought to restore Catholicism in England, reversing the Reformation initiated by her father, Henry VIII, and her half-brother, Edward VI. Her methods were nothing short of draconian. Mary's reign is infamous for the Marian persecutions, during which over 300 Protestants were burned at the stake for heresy. These brutal executions were intended to cleanse the realm of religious dissent, but they instead sowed terror and resentment among her subjects. Her marriage to King Philip II of Spain further alienated the English populace, who viewed the union with suspicion and disdain. Her reign, fraught with religious extremism, economic turmoil, and a disastrous war with France, left a lasting scar on English history. Mary's attempts to enforce her religious convictions through fear and brutality ultimately failed, but they secured her place as one of history's most ruthless queens. Number 4. Ranavalona I of Madagascar 1778 to 1861, the Cruel Queen. Ranavalona I, the Queen of Madagascar, ruled with an iron fist, enforcing her will through a reign of terror that included public executions, forced labor, and the infamous trial by ordeal involving poison. Her legal system was harsh, with even minor infractions punishable by death, and her rule was characterized by an unyielding policy of fear and intimidation. Ranavalona's brutal methods extended to her military campaigns and her suppression of dissent. She maintained power through relentless persecution of her enemies, ensuring that any opposition was met with swift and lethal retribution. Despite her cruelty, Ranavalona managed to modernize the Malagasy military and expanded the kingdom's territory, securing her legacy as both a formidable and feared ruler. Her reign remains one of the most infamous in Madagascar's history, marked by a blend of modernization and mercilessness. Ranavalona's ability to instill fear while advancing her kingdom's interests underscores the complexity of her rule. Number 5. Empress Irene of Athens, 752–803. The ambitious ruler. Empress Irene of Athens is remembered for her ruthless pursuit of power, even at the expense of her own family. As a Byzantine empress, her ascent to power involved the strategic elimination of rivals and the employment of brutal tactics to secure her authority. Her most infamous act was the blinding of her own son, Constantine VI, to prevent him from reclaiming the throne, a deed that left an indelible mark on her legacy. Irene's reign was characterized by her use of violence and political intrigue to maintain control. She adeptly navigated the treacherous waters of Byzantine politics, eliminating adversaries through calculated moves and securing her position as the sole ruler of the Byzantine Empire. Her ability to consolidate power and rule independently was unmatched by any woman before her. Despite her ruthless methods, Irene's reign also saw efforts to restore religious icons and consolidate the empire's territories. Her complex legacy is one of both ambition and brutality, reflecting the harsh realities of Byzantine imperial politics. Number 6. Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matumba 1583–1663. The Warrior Queen. Queen Nzinga of Ndongo and Matumba, known for her fierce resistance against Portuguese colonization, ruled her African kingdoms with unmatched tenacity and strategic brilliance. Over her 40-year reign, Nzinga became a master of warfare, leading her people in numerous battles against the Portuguese and employing guerrilla tactics to disrupt their slave trade and territorial ambitions. Nzinga's leadership was marked by her use of political alliances and cunning strategies to undermine Portuguese influence. She forged alliances with other African states and even converted to Christianity temporarily to secure military aid. Though ultimately unable to expel the Portuguese completely, her efforts significantly hampered their operations and made her a symbol of African resistance. Her legacy is one of resilience and defiance, standing as a powerful example of a leader who fought relentlessly against foreign domination. Nzinga's life and reign continue to inspire those who value freedom and resistance against oppression. Number 7. Queen Tamaris of Massagetsi, 6th century BC. The vengeful leader. Queen Tamaris of the Massagetsi, a powerful nomadic tribe north of the Black Sea, is legendary for her decisive victory over Cyrus the Great of Persia. When Cyrus invaded Massaget territory, Tamaris responded with a ferocity that has echoed through history. According to ancient accounts, Tamaris led her forces into battle and defeated the Persian army in a brutal confrontation. The legend goes that after the battle, she fulfilled a grim promise by dipping Cyrus's severed head into a blood-filled wineskin, symbolically quenching his thirst for conquest. This act of vengeance solidified her reputation as a fearsome and unyielding leader. While details of her life and reign are subject to historical debate, Tamaris remains a potent symbol of resistance and the fierce protection of her people. Her legacy endures as a testament to her leadership and indomitable spirit in the face of one of history's greatest conquerors. Number 8. Queen Isabella I of Castile, 1451–1504. The financier of Columbus. Queen Isabella I of Castile, alongside her husband Ferdinand II, played a pivotal role in the unification of Spain and the expansion of its empire. Her reign, however, was also marked by severe religious persecution and the brutal enforcement of Catholic orthodoxy through the Spanish Inquisition. Isabella's funding of the Spanish Inquisition led to the torture and execution of countless Jews and Muslims who refused to convert to Catholicism. This religious tribunal sought to root out heresy, often employing horrific methods to achieve its ends. Additionally, Isabella and Ferdinand's edict of expulsion forced all unconverted Jews and Muslims to leave Spain, causing widespread suffering and displacement. Her reign also saw the conquest of Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Iberia, completing the Reconquista. Isabella's sponsorship of Christopher Columbus's voyage in 1492 opened the New World to European exploration and colonization, further cementing her influence. Her legacy is a complex blend of religious fervor, brutal enforcement of faith, and significant contributions to Spain's global expansion. Number 9. Princess Olga of Kiev c. 890 to 969. The Vengeful Queen. Princess Olga of Kiev, the widow of Prince Igor, embarked on a campaign of brutal vengeance following her husband's murder by the Drevlian tribe. Her methods of retribution were both ingenious and terrifying, demonstrating her ruthless nature and strategic mind. Olga's vengeance began with the entrapment and execution of Drevlian ambassadors sent to negotiate with her. She lured them into pits and had them buried alive, a gruesome start to her campaign of retribution. She then invited Drevlian nobles to a funeral feast for her husband, only to have them locked in a building and burned alive. Her final act of vengeance involved a seemingly harmless tribute from the Drevlians' birds from each household. Olga ordered her soldiers to attach sulfur and cloth to the birds and set them on fire, releasing them to fly back to their nests, resulting in the destruction of the Drevlian capital by fire. This calculated act of terror cemented her reputation as a formidable and merciless ruler. Despite her ruthless actions, Olga later converted to Christianity and sought to spread the faith throughout Kievan Rus. Her legacy is thus dual-faceted. She is remembered both for her savage vengeance and for her role in the Christianization of her people. Olga's story is a powerful reminder of the lengths to which a ruler could go to secure justice and power in the harsh realities of medieval politics. Number 10. Queen Boudica of the Iceni died c. 61 AD. The Warrior Queen. Queen Boudica of the Iceni tribe is renowned for her fierce rebellion against Roman rule in Britain. Her revolt was sparked by the brutal treatment she and her daughters received at the hands of Roman soldiers and the seizure of her lands following her husband's death. Boudica's leadership galvanized a significant uprising, uniting various tribes in a concerted effort to expel the Romans. She led her warriors in a series of devastating attacks on Roman settlements, including the sacking and burning of Colchester, London, and St. Albans. These assaults resulted in substantial Roman casualties and widespread destruction. Although her rebellion ultimately ended in defeat, Boudica's legacy endures as a symbol of resistance against oppression. Her courage and tenacity in the face of overwhelming odds continue to inspire those who fight against injustice and tyranny. Boudica's story is a testament to the enduring spirit of defiance and the power of a determined leader. Number 11. Queen Hatshepsut of Egypt 1508-1458 BC. The Powerful Pharaoh. Queen Hatshepsut, one of Egypt's most successful pharaohs, ruled for over 2 decades, often depicted in male attire to assert her authority. Her reign was marked by unprecedented architectural achievements and a flourishing of trade and culture. Hatshepsut commissioned numerous building projects, the most famous being her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri, which stands as a testament to her architectural vision and political acumen. She also expanded Egypt's trade networks, notably sending a trading expedition to the land of Punt, which brought back wealth and exotic goods, enhancing Egypt's prosperity. Despite her accomplishments, Hatshepsut faced efforts to erase her legacy after her death. Her successors sought to remove her name and image from monuments, attempting to diminish her impact on history. However, her enduring contributions to Egyptian architecture, economy, and culture have ensured her place among the most remarkable rulers of ancient Egypt. Number 12. Mary, Queen of Scots 1542 to 1587. A controversial reign. Mary, Queen of Scots, ascended to the throne as an infant and faced a tumultuous reign marked by political intrigue, imprisonment, and ultimately execution. Her life was a series of dramatic events that shaped Scottish and English history. Mary's early marriage to the French Dauphin Francis I and his subsequent death left her vulnerable upon her return to Scotland. Her Catholic faith and claim to the English throne made her a focal point of conflict in Protestant-dominated Scotland and England. Her reign was further complicated by her contentious marriage to Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, whose murder added to the scandal and unrest. Accused of being complicit in Darnley's murder and facing rebellion from Scottish nobles, Mary fled to England, seeking protection from her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I. Instead, she was imprisoned for nearly 2 decades, during which she became the center of Catholic plots to overthrow Elizabeth. Ultimately, Mary was executed for her alleged involvement in these conspiracies, a dramatic end to a life filled with political strife and tragedy. Number 13. Queen Christina of Sweden 1626 to 1689. The unconventional monarch. Queen Christina of Sweden is remembered for her unconventional reign and abdication. Ascending the throne at the age of 6, Christina was known for her intellectual pursuits, love of the arts, and defiance of societal norms. Christina's reign was marked by her refusal to marry and produce an heir, which was highly unusual for a queen of her time. Her interests lay in philosophy, literature, and science, and she surrounded herself with prominent intellectuals. Her decision to convert to Catholicism in a staunchly Lutheran nation was controversial and led to her abdication in 1654. After abdicating, Christina moved to Rome, where she lived a life of cultural patronage and continued to challenge gender and social norms. Her choice to live independently and pursue her passions made her a significant cultural figure, whose life and reign defied the expectations of her era. Number 14. Queen Margaret I of Denmark 1353 to 1412. The Unifier. Queen Margaret I of Denmark played a pivotal role in unifying Scandinavia through the establishment of the Kalmar Union, which united Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under her rule. Her reign was characterized by strategic diplomacy, military prowess, and political acumen. Margaret used a combination of force and negotiation to suppress rebellions and consolidate her authority across the Scandinavian kingdoms. Her efforts laid the foundation for a period of relative peace and stability, despite the challenges of ruling over diverse and often conflicting territories. Her legacy as a unifier is significant, as she managed to bring together the Scandinavian kingdoms in a manner that promoted cooperation and mutual defense. Margaret's reign demonstrates the power of a determined leader to forge unity and stability in a turbulent political landscape. Number 15. Queen Tiye of Egypt, 14th century BC. The power behind the throne. Queen Tiye, the wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep I and mother of Akhenaten, wielded considerable influence during her husband's and son's reigns. Known for her political acumen and diplomatic skills, Tiye played a crucial role in shaping the policies and direction of the Egyptian state. Tiye maintained extensive correspondence with foreign rulers, engaging in diplomatic negotiations that strengthened Egypt's position in the ancient world. She is also believed to have supported her son Akhenaten's religious reforms, which included the controversial shift to monotheism centered on the worship of Aten. Although she did not rule directly, Tiye's influence was profound, shaping the course of Egyptian history through her advisory role and strategic insight. Her legacy underscores the power and impact of a queen who operated behind the scenes, guiding the affairs of the kingdom with intelligence and foresight. And that's it from this video. See you in the next one.